Hello and welcome to GamingBolt, and this week we're going to be taking a look at Rage 2, which has been in the news almost constantly since its recent announcement. Based on the little we've seen of it so far, it's looking pretty good. Certainly, we're expecting it to improve upon the original game in a number of ways. Not that we don't expect all sequels to do that, but in the case of Rage 2, we're expecting that even more than usual, because while the first game was good, everyone expected a lot more from it. And anyone who played it, or mostly anyone, was left with the feeling of a lot of its potential being untapped. Bethesda, though, are promising that Rage 2 is going to be better, much better. The game's official Twitter page has been quite active in recent weeks, and once again, it's put up a tweet that promises that everything in the game is going to be better than the first game, even the ending, which is not only encouraging, but also quite funny. It's good to see how self-aware the developer seems to be, because it's no secret that Rage's ending was pretty bad, to say the least. Bethesda will reveal more information on Rage 2 at their E3 press conference on June 10th, including a more concrete release date for the game. Speaking of a game that's had quite a bit of news lately, Borderlands 3, a game that hasn't even been officially announced yet. After weeks and weeks of intense speculation and rumors that Borderlands 3 would be finally announced at E3, it's now starting to look very likely that the game won't be present at the show, especially in light of recent comments by Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford. Pitchford has taken to Twitter once again, though, and he isn't dashing fans' hopes this time. He's speaking about stuff that's going to be in the game. Maybe. Probably. To be fair, he isn't really saying anything at all for now, but his words are definitely intriguing. After a couple of joke tweets that were part of an exchange between industry analyst Michael Pachter and Pitchford, a fan asked Pitchford if Borderlands 3 would be a 4-player co-op game once again, expressing concern about it and mentioning how they didn't think it was a good idea. When Pitchford responded, he first mentioned that Borderlands 3 hasn't even been announced yet, driving the point home, before saying that there's nothing wrong with 4-player co-op being something that's worked pretty well so far. It's by no means a confirmation of any sort, especially for a game that doesn't exist yet, but does suggest that Borderlands 3, whenever it comes out, might feature 4-player co-op once again. As the days go by, it's becoming clearer and clearer that Polish developer CD Projekt Red are gearing up for a proper premiere and the subsequent build-up for their upcoming and long-awaited Cyberpunk 2077. Quite recently, we reported on how it was looking likely, based on their recent financial dealings, that the developer was preparing for a full-fledged marketing campaign on the game, and now we have an update that suggests that said marketing campaign is actually going to be a pretty large-scale one. During a conference call for the financial year's first quarter, the developer mentioned that the marketing campaign for Cyberpunk 2077 wouldn't be a flash one, and that it would actually be one that would generate hype and anticipation surrounding the game for a considerable period of time. We have high hopes when it comes to that title, CD Projekt Red CEO Adam Kaczynski and CFO Piotr Nilbowicz said of the upcoming RPG. The campaign will surely be more expensive than in the case of Witcher 3, but it's too early to discuss the details. The closer we are to the premiere, the more precise our expectations become, and then we know more or less how much we want to spend on promotion. This is the standard in the business. Though it remains officially unannounced, Cyberpunk 2077 is expected to have a major presence at E3 in a couple of weeks' time, so expect to hear a lot more about the game itself, if not information on a release date, in the coming days. Rumors, as they usually do, run rampant around E3 season. One such rumor by Reddit user SoMeh pointed to Fallout 76, with that exact name being announced. The user then later said that at E3 2018, Microsoft would be announcing a new Gears, Forza Horizon 4, Halo, and Sunset Overdrive 2. Now, obviously, there are plenty of reasons to be skeptical. A new Gears, Forza Horizon 4, and the next Halo aren't tough predictions. Even if one of them isn't announced, we kind of know they're in development. However, Sunset Overdrive 2 seems like an anomaly, given the number of years since the first game launched and Insomniac's work on Spider-Man 4, which releases in September. Could it actually be happening? It doesn't seem to be the case, according to Waypoint senior reporter Patrick Klepek, who's also a former Giant Bomb news editor. Klepek said on Twitter that Sunset Overdrive 2 isn't happening right now. I poke around about this game all the time, said Klepek, noting it to be a favorite this generation, and desperately ask for a sequel. It's not in development. Obviously, there's a lot to take with a grain of salt from both sides. For now, we'd ask you to remain skeptical and take the announcements as they come. Microsoft's E3 2018 presser is scheduled for June 10th. So if you haven't noticed already, and as we've mentioned before, lots and lots of rumors gain traction around E3 time. For months now, news for Crackdown 3 has been awaited, especially when it was delayed from last year. Microsoft hasn't said much, so when one Reddit user reported that his Amazon pre-order was cancelled and wrongly assumed this applied for all pre-orders, rumors went around about Crackdown 3 being delayed or possibly cancelled. Jez Corden of Windows Central said on Twitter that it may have been delayed out of 2018, based on what I've been hearing from a few places. However, he was ultimately unsure and would ask Microsoft for a response. He added that the game wasn't cancelled at all, which led to Aaron Greenberg, general manager for games marketing at Microsoft. The team continues to work hard on the game for our fans. You should contact Amazon directly for any questions related to orders with them, said Greenberg. The development team also confirmed to him that this was a technical issue on the side of Amazon and was currently being addressed. So there you have it. Crackdown 3 is still very much alive, there's still no release date, and not all pre-order cancellations equal game cancellations. When Fallout 76 was announced earlier this week, there was some confusion about what kind of game exactly it might be. A report quickly emerged that it would be a Rust-inspired survival multiplayer RPG, which had quite a few people concerned. If the Rust part had you worried though, it seems you don't need to freak out just yet. Speaking on his Instagram account, Dennis Megalones, senior character artist at Bethesda Game Studios, beseeched his followers to wait for the official reveal of the game before they lost their head over it, promising that the final game would be worth it. Kotaku's Jason Schreier, meanwhile, on Twitter clarified that the game will be a multiplayer survival RPG, which takes cues from many games, but it will not be a clone of Rust. Regardless of what it is, Bethesda Game Studios has yet to make an actual bad game. It might be best to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them share more information on the game on their own terms come E3. In what's probably the quickest confirmation of a leak yet, the official Assassin's Creed Twitter has been updated with a teaser video. That video confirms Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and if the iconic kick from Frank Miller's 300 is any indication, the game is indeed set in Sparta. See You at E3 confirms that we'll be seeing the game at Ubisoft's presser this year. However, it may not necessarily release this year itself, like other Assassin's Creed titles have. Yesterday, Kotaku sources revealed that Assassin's Creed Odyssey would further build on the RPG elements in Origins with dialogue choices and different protagonists. Aya and Bayek from Origins won't be returning though, and new mechanics can be expected as well. The game is currently expected to release before April 2019. Interestingly enough, rumors of the release started circulating earlier this year and indicated that it would be set in ancient Greece. That'll be it for this video. If you like what we're doing, please go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.